Hey everybody, welcome back to another vlog. I feel like I haven't actually spoken face to face with the camera in ages. New year, so fresh start into some new things for the business. Today I'm starting off some stuff for a new collection. Excited to get started on that, so that will be fun. I have a couple of things actually grabbed in the shop today. Not really collection related, but I thought I'd show you those two. Anyway, why don't we take a seat and catch up? So I know we had a bit of a catch up in my last video, but that was mostly talking about goals and things like that. So I just wanted to say Happy New Year. I hope you've had a good start to the year, whether you were resting or planning. I kind of did a little bit of both. You might still hear it in my voice. I'm not sick anymore, but like I've got some residual kind of symptoms of coughing and stuffiness, which is fun. But I have the energy now to get properly back into business, so I'm excited to get started on planning a whole new collection. So I thought I would kind of run through that in this vlog. I'm going to talk about how I find my inspiration and choosing colour palettes and reference images, and probably start doing sketches and stuff in this vlog. Not doing any final pieces, but just kind of initial sketches. Something that I actually really want to try this year is to do more traditional sketches, not for the final piece, but just to get my ideas out onto paper. Although I've been using the iPad for quite a long time now, I feel like I'm looser whenever I use an actual pencil and paper. So I have a sketchbook somewhere around here that I bought maybe 2 years ago and I've kind of abandoned it. I'm going to get that back out and get some pencils out, just coloured pencils, to do some rough sketching, so you'll be able to see that. And then what I can do is transfer those over to my iPad to kind of refine and turn into proper sketches. I'm not sure how far I'll get with the collection in this video, but hopefully we can get at least some inspiration to maybe do a mood board, choose some initial colours. They'll probably change as time goes on, but I can get some kind of stuff down on my mood board to get an idea of where I want to take the collection and what kind of feeling I want to get from it. So yeah, I'm going to start doing that. If you watched my goal video, you know I have a different sort of approach this year for my collection, so I want to try and plan ahead of time. I will link my goals video up here if you would like to watch. It's a long rambly one. It's a long chatty one, so you're going to want to make a cup of tea if you want to sit down and watch it. Anyway, yes, I want to take my products in kind of, not a different direction, but a more refined direction this year. I want to kind of narrow down what types of products I want, explore a little bit different types of products that I want to bring into the shop, but just make it easier whenever I'm doing collections, because I think if I have a kind of solid idea of the types of products I want to bring out for each collection, it'll make it easier for me to experiment with new things and new techniques, and it'll make it a bit more fun, so that I can have enough time to get everything and have fun with it. So it'll definitely still be planning, journaling related, lots more sticker sheets and fun things like that. But now that I have my big industrial guillotine, one of the big reasons I got that, the reason I got it whenever I was making the notebooks, was because I knew there were other products that I could use it for. So I want to start moving into maybe doing more kind of memo pads and things like that, both for kind of note taking and stuff, but also I think it would be really fun to make a collection of stuff where you can use the papers in your journals and planners to like layer and do kind of collage-y style journaling. That's something that I love doing personally, so I thought it would be kind of fun to create some products that I can use and you can use. So yeah, it'll be fun. For now, I think we need to get into finding some inspiration for this collection. So let's get to that and have some fun. So I just realized I didn't actually show you the things that I was going to show you from the purchases I did today. So I actually got these mild liners. I've seen a lot of other people use them and I've really wanted to try them. If you've watched my videos for a little while, you'll know that I got some, I think they're water-based brush markers recently. And I really like them, but the variety of colours, they all ended up looking quite similar. There's some that are quite different shades, but I wanted a bit more variety to use in my planners and stuff. So I saw this in TK Maxx. It was only $14.99. which is awesome. So I bought this to start diversifying my colour palettes in my journal. And I also bought some yarn, so I've got some cotton yarn and some nice like lavender and mustard, and then another mustard and a greeny kind of colour, minty sort of green. So that's some personal projects that I'm going to be working on. I don't do crochet or anything for my shop. This is just a fun hobby that I like to do, make things for friends, family and for us. So that's a couple of things. I'm not going to say what I'm making because I don't know if the people that I'm making them for watch the video. But when they're done and they've been given to people, then I can maybe show you if you're interested. But anyway, let's get into actually doing finding some inspiration. So to start off with, whenever I'm looking for inspiration, I usually go to Pinterest and just kind of type in a couple of things and look at a few images and things. Just usually I'll make a board specifically for the collection that I have, just to serve as some inspiration, to gather some imagery, to kind of see what kind of colour palette I want, and what kind of things that I want to draw. So I have a few ideas that I want to run with. The collection should be coming out around March, so I want it to kind of work with that season. So we're thinking things that are related to spring and that kind of thing. So first thing I maybe want to type in is just spring. And here we're really just kind of picking out things that we like the look of, like imagery and stuff. So I have a little scroll through. You know, obviously spring has a lot of floral elements. I've seen some nice daisies. And you can sort of see there's lots of different colours here, so there's really a lot that I could do with a spring theme. Like you can even see here we've got Easter, different elements, and maybe I want to get more specific, like even this one is a cute little duck and some flowers. These are, what do you call these flowers? Snowdrops, I think. So, you know, this is giving me more of an idea. Maybe I want to draw some ducks, or we've got a lamb or a bunny. I definitely want to try and start drawing some animals, so this will be a good opportunity for me to see what kind of types of drawings I want to do. So maybe I'll save a few of these images, and it gives me an idea of what types of animals I could draw for these collections. Even things like this, like somebody's obviously got this little flower on top of this duck's head, which is super cute. We could go more specific, so something around springtime. You're even thinking about like planting flowers and gardening, so maybe I want to look at gardening to get a few ideas. So, you know, there's a growing calendar that gives me an idea of what types of plants and stuff could be planted around this time of year, or in March time. It even shows us the kinds of vegetables and stuff that you can plant. Little like garden areas. It gives me a better idea of other things that I can maybe draw. You know, maybe I want to go along the lines of doing things like this. So you can draw some plants in tins. Really just kind of sparking ideas at this point. There's a shelf full of different boxes and plants. I really like these like tinned ones. That'd be kind of cute to draw. Then, you know, we've even got some watering cans and things. You're talking kind of the tools that you would use. There's lots of ideas that I can get sparked from all these images on Pinterest. Now I don't necessarily want to use these images specifically for drawing references. I'm going to show you another website that I use for that kind of thing. So let's have a look at that website now. So I went through and had a good look at some inspiration on Pinterest. I put it all onto a board. I can have a wee scroll through. I'm going to maybe print some of the images. I'm not sure, I might either print it to do a mood board or I might just do a digital one and then print it onto a big piece of paper. I'm not sure. I like to have it kind of visible for me whenever I'm drawing and things, just so I can look back and reference and make sure that I am keeping to the sort of theme that I want to for the collection. But that's the first sort of step done. Once I kind of look through the Pinterest board that I made, I can kind of scroll through and it gives me an idea of what I've been gravitating towards the most. I can kind of pick out the similar color themes, similar kind of imagery, whether it's like animals or whatever it is I've popped in there, and then I can take it a step further and go on to searching for some images that I can use as references to help kind of get an idea of some sketches and stuff down. So I've done all my looking on Pinterest, and I think it's important to mention it's great to get inspiration from there, but you want to diversify where you're getting your inspiration from. At least I enjoy doing that, so that you're really kind of delving into what it is you really want to do with your project, instead of just seeing a couple of images and go a little bit deeper into your bank of creativity for some research. So like you can maybe even see behind me some books. I love looking into books and reading, you know, getting yourself into the world of other creatives. It's a whole other way of getting inspired. You could watch lots of movies. I particularly love the kind of movies like Studio Ghibli, I'm not really sure which way you're supposed to pronounce that. But those movies like Arity, I love that because it's like the kind of miniature world and all the little ways that you see that they use like big, large human things in their tiny world. Or there's this new Disney movie out recently called Strange World, I think, or Strange Worlds, and the creativity in that with how they have created different plants and creatures. The Croods is another animated movie that I thought was really cool with the creatures and stuff they created. I found, I think it was one of the, oh, what do you call it, one of the Marvel movies, the oh gosh, I always forget the name, Guardians of the Galaxy. So there was a movie that they did and they go to basically another planet, and I find it really cool to see the different kind of creatures and plants that they come up with. So those are the kind of things that really inspire me. Anytime I'm watching movies like that, it always just really sparks motivation in me to go create something. So I like to kind of look in and kind of immerse myself in those sorts of things too whenever I'm thinking about a new collection, to give me more inspiration and more kind of depth of ideas. So definitely look into doing things like that. Even when you're watching movies and reading books and stuff, keep a little notepad beside you, and it helps then to be able to write down any quick ideas that you get popping into your head. So I know in situations like that, for me, they sort of, all these ideas flood in, and then if I don't take note of them, I forget them. So I think it's definitely good to keep a note. And then it means you can have those list of ideas, compare them to some of the imagery that you've got, and then you can start mapping out some plans in your head. You can do like a mood board with imagery or words, or you can do like a mind map of different things. So I think I might sit down and do a bit of a mind map as well, to get some of the ideas out of my head from the things that I've gathered through the movies and the imagery and stuff that I've got. So I'll sit down and have a little session of mind mapping to gather more of my thoughts and condense them down a little bit to kind of move forward with what I want to like put my theme together with. So whether I want to do one big overarching theme, or if I want to kind of branch them off into little sections. So I think I need to sit down and get some plans out to get all the ideas out of my head onto paper, so I can move forward with exactly how I want to start gathering the imagery for my sketches, and starting to pick out some colours and stuff to get me inspired with my mood board. So let's get into doing some of that. So I've finished all my mind mapping. Let me have a wee look at my book to show you. So the first one, the initial sort of ideas, I just mapped everything down, sort of thought everything in my head, kind of put it onto paper, And then you saw I went on to Pinterest and Unsplash to kind of look for some inspiration and reference photos. And then after that I kind of delved a little bit deeper. I spoke about finding inspiration elsewhere, so I watched a few movies and had a look around just to kind of get a few more ideas, and took what I had and then narrowed it down even further to try and kind of make the idea a little bit more specific, I guess, and not so vague. So the whole like spring theme is still going to be kind of a running theme around what I'm doing, but it's going to be a little bit more in depth than that. So I've come up with two main theme ideas. The first one is what I've named Kitchen Witch. So that kind of stemmed from the idea of like gardening. I want to kind of go with the idea of something kind of witchy, you know, somebody who likes gardening and cooking and like tending to their flowers, and they have herbs and kind of lots of jars and things. I really want to kind of think more about the story of my collections, so I have this person in mind for this whole theme, and I'm really excited to get started on that. And then the second one is a fairy picnic. So if you followed me on Instagram, you might have seen a while back, I think it was last year, gosh, it was quite a long time ago, I was drawing flowers, and I did a whole story on like fairy flowers, I think it was called. My grandmother, when I was very little, had all these books on fairies, and there was this one where it was each fairy like belonged to a specific flower, and I was fascinated when I was a kid, so the whole idea of that has always really inspired me, and that sort of project kind of never really went anywhere last year, so I'm kind of bringing it back a little bit into this theme. So basically the idea is that this little tiny fairy is in like a human-sized picnic, so they could be running around holding like a giant strawberry or something. I just want it to feel really whimsical and fun. So I've got a bunch of ideas written down for what I could draw and what I could reference for that. So I can show you here, I've got all of my ideas mapped out for both of those, and I will probably do a little bit more reference image hunting for those as well. But then I got out my sketchbook, the long lost sketchbook. I've had this for a while and I kind of abandoned it. Let's see, my first drawing in it was July 2021, my second was July 2022, so I haven't really drawn in it since then. So you can see, like, I just did some sketchy sort of stuff in the first one, and then the next 2 pages are just kind of doodles. I was just kind of messing around with, I think some of these might have been, I think I was on holiday, so I was just kind of drawing the things that were kind of around me at the time. And then I kind of wanted to start drawing some cats, and had some fun just having some like different shapes for cats. But as you can see, that's it, nothing else. So I have got out my Prismacolors, and I'm going to start sketching some of my ideas out. I really wanted to try more traditional sketching methods instead of going straight to the iPad. I feel like I loosen up more whenever I'm using like a pencil, so that's what the next plan is going to be. This video is already getting long enough, so I had an idea for next week's video. I think what I might do is do a draw every day challenge, and then the video at the end of the week will be just my whole process throughout the whole week, to see kind of where I've started, how I've gotten on, if I've managed to draw every day, and kind of what my thoughts are at the end of the week, because it's been so long since I've properly drawn with pencil or even an iPad. I'm kind of procrastinating it a little bit. So I thought this would be a really good way to kind of get me out of that kind of drawing rut and really get me kick-started into doing more sketches. So if you'd be interested in seeing how all that turns out, then make sure to subscribe. You can turn on the notifications so that you don't miss the video whenever it gets uploaded next week. I hope you've enjoyed watching this studio vlog and a bit of an insight into my process for starting a new collection. I've done a few collections on this channel already, so if you want to have a look at some of the previous ones, I will put a link to my previous studio vlog collection so that you can have a look back at some of my previous collections. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.